And better work on your S.
And thank you. You got my name right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Melanie Hobden, 4052 Sugar Maple Drive in Danville. I've been a resident here in Danville prior to even incorporation. So, okay, thanks. So, I've been here over 40 years, and what a wonderful community we all live in here. I speak as a person of faith and a grandmother of a Greenbrook eagle. I strongly support the district strategic equity strategy. I taught for 7 years in South Central Phoenix, so I know how important meeting the needs of all the students are. I also know that we have had issues here in Danville. It's tough for me to think we have issues in Danville. It's just, sorry about that. In February 2022, anti-Semitic flyers appeared along the Iron Horse Trail in Danville. We will not allow that here. It just can't happen. I-SRV organized a march to promote love, not hate, here in our community. Our grandkids walked it. They prepared this sign, peace and love. This interfaith community got together and did something about it, using the community with the students, with the faith community. We can really make this happen. Peace and love. Let's make sure our schools welcome all our neighbors in love and concern. I thank you so much for working on this very, very difficult issue and continuing to have Danville as the best place to live in the world. Thank you for letting me comment.
Thank you. And as Steve makes his way up, I will announce that the third speaker is, Michael Cornisquam. Yeah, maybe Cunningham. I think we have some penmanship issues.
You must have my handwriting.
So, Michael, you'll be after Steve.
So when I received the package of tonight's agenda, I was blown away by the 5 key attributes of learning. I believe very strongly that a democratic society must possess these 5 characteristics. And I've been sitting here listening to the reports and the measurements and whatnot, which you have to do of the kids. I was thinking from my vantage point, which is looking back at my schooling, I never knew these existed, okay? And I'm a graduate of San Marino High School. So my kids graduated from Monte Vista. And I thought, they're both successful. And I know that they have friends who I've met, and I know they're successful as adults. What can we do to reach out to graduates of the San Ramon Valley Unified School District, present them with a questionnaire? How were you prepared with these 5 attributes by your learning in the San Ramon Valley School District, and how has that advantaged you in your career? I know for a fact that our daughter, who was just promoted, has used those attributes in gaining her promotion in a very large corporation. So thank you.
Thank you. And after Michael Cunningham, we'll have Arlene Reed.
Thank you very much. Hopefully my verbal presentation will be better than my written one. My name's Michael Cunningham. I'm the Executive Director at San Damiano Retreat Center, 710 Highland Drive. And I'm also a member of the I-SRV program, and I just want to thank you for the work that you're doing with this equity program. I think it's very important. And as you may or may not know, the San Damiano Center is a Franciscan center, and the Franciscans are basically all about restorative justice. So the focus that you have with this program is very important. You also might wonder what someone responsible for a retreat center is doing here. What do we know about the education side of it? But you may not know we have several thousand students come through the retreat center every year from about 30 to 35 different schools. And they come up on retreat, and and obviously we are a location of faith, but the primary reason that they come on retreat is to understand that they belong to each other and that their relationship with each other is the most important thing, and that they love each other, even though, obviously they don't love each other in the in a demonstrative sense every day of the week, because we're all sort of getting along. But they have 3 intensive days where they focus on that issue, and I can't tell you the transformations that occur when everyone is put into an environment when no one is excluded. And when someone comes into a retreat like that, or any environment, they are not excluded. One of the words that the doctor mentioned earlier this evening struck with me, and the word was culture, because you have a tremendous activity obviously going here. I'm new to the place, as you probably recognized, not newly minted by the color of my hair, but new to the area. The doctor mentioned the word culture. And at the end of the day, it's the culture and the environment. If the kids do not feel safe, if they do not feel love, if they are in a hostile environment, if they're in an environment where discrimination is allowed to occur, then, we have all of the problems that we have to deal with. And they don't just end in school, because I see plenty of adults that this carries on all the way through their lives. And 75% of children feel unsafe at some point in their lives. So thank you very much for the work that you are doing. And if there's any way that our retreat center can support you, we will. Thank you.
Thank you. So Arlene Reed, okay, and after Arlene, we have Reverend Steve Harms.
Hi. I was really impressed with the slideshow and all of your comments and those of the people here. I'm a retired teacher. I live in Diablo for over 45 years. Our kids went to San Ramon Valley schools, and I'm a member of Peace Lutheran Church here in Danville, and also a member of Interfaith San Ramon Valley. I really appreciate all of the work you are doing. I know in some conservative districts throughout this country, the school boards have authorized removal of books from libraries and the elimination of gender issues from classroom discussion. LGBTQ plus topics have been curtailed, and outing students to their parents have been required of teachers. Truthful accounts of our country's racial history have been stopped. Racial discrimination has increased, and there's been little reaction to Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. As a person of faith, I am grateful to the San Ramon Valley Unified School District that you have been attentive to opposing those kinds of practices. And I applaud you, your attention to diversity and to diversify curriculum and staff to support different student groups. I was really impressed by the number, and to combat all forms of discrimination. And I encourage you to fully continue all the things that you are doing. It's really important that our students gain the background to develop critical thinking and acceptance of differences so that they may become educated and compassionate citizens of our democracy. So thank you so much for all that you are doing.
Thank you. And after Reverend Steve Harms, we'll have Todd Bryant.
Good evening, school board. As a person of faith, I'm representing myself this evening in the Congregation of Peace Lutheran. I'm here to endorse and express my gratitude for the equity and inclusion work that you have been engaged in. While it is growing pains for some, it is also long overdue for others of us. I-SRV Interfaith San Ramon Valley has been active for more than 25 years. We have practiced mutual education amongst ourselves, shared celebrations, defended each other in times of public intimidation, and prayed together. So, of course, we at I-SRV, as leaders and congregations, are strong advocates for equity and diversity. Our faiths and our friendships inspire and motivate us in the affirmation of all people, all cultures, all spiritual paths, all sexual expressions of identity, and especially in pursuing the truth. We know we need each other. We really do. The equity action steps you have researched and designed are moving in the right direction from our view. Confronting discrimination is in the process of naming, interrupting, resolving, and educating is highly valuable. Advocating restorative justice has also become prominent in many spiritual circles. Addressing Islamophobia and anti-Semitism is essential for these painful times that we are in. Creating an environment where all people feel safe and heard is our only choice. Everyone wants to express themselves and to be heard and hopefully understood. Free speech, crucial to the exercise of democracy, is bandied about these days as if it's simply my right to say anything I want. That's not true. Free speech is my protecting your right to speak, especially if I disagree with you and consider you an opponent. A safe environment which you are creating urges us to listen to each other and then begin the hard work of dialogue and figuring out together what is the truth. 20 years ago, Rabbi Dan Goldblatt and I sat before this board to defend and protect LGBTQ students and their families who were harassed and bullied. Now we are back here again. We need your support. We join you in supporting protection for all students, all the marginalized, and all who need your care and support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, after Todd Bryant, we have Mike Arata.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Todd Bryant. You can tell by the funny collar, I'm an Episcopalian clergy, and I represent St. Timothy's Episcopal Church, and also continuing the theme as part of I-SRV, Interfaith of San Ramon Valley. We're close to Thanksgiving, so I want to share something I'm thankful for, and that's curb cuts. You know those things on the sidewalks, those curb cuts? I'm thankful that university students about 25 years ago to 30 years ago strongly advocated for curb cuts because they were in wheelchairs. They didn't have the accessibility to get to the campus And that work in the University of California systems created a national movement. So curb cuts are all the way in my home state of Oklahoma and where I grew up in Texas. So who does that benefit? Everybody. Benefits the disabled. It benefits my kids who used to ride bikes until they went to middle school, and now they don't ride bikes. And my Monte Vista kids are driving cars, but when they did, they could get into their bicycles. I can walk my dog, and it benefits me. It benefits the disabled. So I see this DEI report as really sort of a curb cut work, metaphorically. You're creating spaces for people of every place and station to find their way into a center of academic excellence. And I think that's really excellent work. Also, as a person of faith, because you can tell by my funny collar, I think that's the work that Jesus did. He's my boy. And he was always drawing the circle really wide to include people who were not at the center of power. He actively looked for people who were different than him. He actively drew them in. And he said, the center is really warm and it's good. Come on in. And they, to the best of their ability, could thrive. So I don't think that this diversity, equity, and inclusion thing is going to make everybody rock star, brilliant scientists, but it is going to give them the tools to do that work to the best of their ability. I love this school district. I think you all do great work. And I'm hoping and praying that your curb cut work will help every student reach their potential. Not what their parents think, not what we wish they would become, but who God made them to be. So I'm hoping and praying that we can include the LGBTQ community, students who are Jewish and Muslim who are trying to figure out their moment in time right now, the wealthy and the not so wealthy. I'm hoping and praying that their access to this excellence that we have created, that we can continue to create, will be available to my kids and maybe their kids. So the only thing I ask of you is to ask us as people of faith how we can join with you in this work of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and ask us regularly, and let's see what we can do. Thank you.
Thank you.